Candace Parker just did something that sent Angel Reese's fans into complete meltdown mode. The WNBA legend ranked Reese as a C-tier player, and the backlash was immediate and furious. But Parker didn't back down. Instead, she doubled down with evidence that makes Reese's supporters look foolish. While Reese has been celebrating her double-doubles, her team has been losing games at an alarming rate. And when you dig deeper into those stats everyone's been praising, you'll discover something that will completely change how you see Angel Reese forever. Double-doubles that mean absolutely nothing when it comes to actual winning. Parker exposed the biggest hoax in WNBA history. Parker didn't mince words about why Reese earned this placement. She explained that to rank higher, you have to be able to have the ability to carry your team, be a 1 or 2 option. Parker acknowledged Reese's offensive rebounding skills, but made it crystal clear that Reese functions as a role player, not someone capable of leading a championship team. While Aja Wilson, Nafisa Collier, and Brianna Stewart occupied the elite S-tier, and Caitlin Clark landed solidly in A-tier, Reese found herself grouped with players still trying to prove themselves. You know what makes Parker's criticism impossible to dismiss? Her credentials speak for themselves. This isn't some random analyst throwing shade. Parker built her reputation through years of elite performance and championship-level basketball IQ. When someone with her basketball knowledge speaks, people listen. The ranking system revealed Parker's priorities perfectly. Caitlin Clark's A-tier placement showed Parker values players who elevate their teammates and impact winning beyond just individual statistics. Clark's ability to transform the Fever's entire offensive system demonstrated exactly what Parker meant by carrying a team. Oh, Candace Parker, you've upset the Reese's Pieces and they're not happy about it. They're going to be coming after you any second. Oh, they're already coming after you. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Candace Parker asked to put certain players in a tier list. You have the S tier, you have the A tier, you have the B tier, and you have the C tier. And where Candace Parker put Angel Reese on this list and her explanation about it, it has upset a large number of the Reese's Pieces delegation. Basketball analysts started coming out of the woodwork to support Parker's honest assessment. They recognized what casual fans missed. There's a massive difference between accumulating stats and actually contributing to team success. The question everyone started asking was simple but devastating. What does a WNBA legend see in Angel Reese's game that her biggest supporters are missing? Parker's ranking wasn't personal or random. It was built on cold, hard basketball fundamentals that separate role players from franchise cornerstones. The Minnesota Lynx game changed everything. Angel Reese committed 9 turnovers in a single game, and suddenly everyone could see what basketball insiders had been whispering about all season. This wasn't just a bad night. This was the moment that exposed the fundamental flaws in Reese's game that her double-double stats had been masking. This from last night's game. Angel Reese was back to doing Angel Reese things. Blowing layups, getting her own rebound. They turned her into a point forward. She had 9 turnovers last night. I think her plus-minus was -19. But all we keep hearing about, she now has 2 double-double streaks of more than 10 games, or 10 games plus. She had one last year, now she has one this year. She's the first WNBA player to ever do this. Let's be real about what happened in that disaster. The Sky were actually competing early in the game, staying within striking distance of Minnesota. Then Reese's decision-making completely fell apart. She started forcing passes that weren't there, trying to thread the needle when the simple play was right in front of her. The turnovers piled up as Reese's basketball IQ crumbled under the slightest pressure from the Lynx defense. You know what made it worse? The types of turnovers Reese was committing. These weren't forced turnovers from elite defensive pressure. We're talking about sloppy passes sailing over teammates' heads, traveling violations from poor footwork, and ball handling mistakes that would make high school coaches cringe. The Lynx didn't even have to work hard to get these steals. Reese was practically handing them the basketball. She got the brace beaten off of her. She, had 9 turnovers and was just an awful. If you watch the game, she was awful. Here's where it gets interesting. Opposing coaches started studying this game film like it was a blueprint. They realized they could target Reese specifically because she'd crack under defensive pressure and give away possessions. Teams began running specific sets designed to force the ball into Reese's hands in uncomfortable situations, knowing she'd likely turn it over. This wasn't some isolated incident either. The 9-turnover nightmare was just the most obvious example of a troubling pattern that plagued Reese's entire season. Game after game, she'd rack up impressive rebounding numbers while simultaneously destroying possessions with careless mistakes. The Sky were losing winnable games because their supposed star couldn't protect the basketball. The most frustrating part? Chicago's coaching staff kept downplaying these obvious problems instead of addressing them head-on. They'd point to Reese's double-doubles and act like the turnover issues were just growing pains. Meanwhile, the losses kept piling up as opponents exploited Reese's fundamental weaknesses. The 9-turnover game became undeniable proof that Angel Reese's impressive statistics don't tell the real story of her impact on winning basketball. You can grab all the offensive rebounds you want, but if you're giving away possessions at an alarming rate, you're actually hurting your team's chances of success. The numbers looked good in the box score, but the Sky lost by 23 points. This raises an obvious question that nobody wants to ask. What happens when Angel Reese plays fewer minutes instead of more? The numbers are absolutely devastating for Angel Reese's reputation. When the Chicago Sky limits Reese to fewer than 30 minutes per game, their win percentage jumps dramatically compared to games where she plays extended minutes. This pattern completely destroys everything the media has been telling you about Reese's value to her team. Let's be real about what the actual data shows. Chicago performs significantly better when Reese's playing time gets reduced. The team moves the ball more effectively, other players get into better rhythms, and the Sky actually look like a cohesive basketball unit instead of a chaotic mess built around one player's rebounding obsession. Through nearly 2 seasons in the WNBA, the only thing Angel Reese has proven is she can't win games. Angel Reese is not an impact player. She's not someone you can rely on to carry a team to a championship. The Chicago Bravada, they cannot rely on Angel Reese to secure off-season access to the golden toilet. Hell, she can't even get them to the playoffs. Angel Reese does not help your team win, and this is no longer just my opinion. Candace Parker feels the same way. This pattern contradicts every single narrative you've heard about Reese being essential to Chicago's success. The media keeps pushing this idea that her double-doubles make her invaluable, but the win-loss record tells a completely different story. Teams don't improve when their supposed star plays more minutes. They improve when that star plays less. You know what happens in specific games where the Sky benched Reese or limited her minutes? They rallied. Other players stepped up and played with more confidence because they weren't constantly trying to accommodate Reese's chaotic playing style. The ball movement improved, possessions became more efficient, and Chicago actually looked competitive against quality opponents. Let's quit pretending like this is some sort of history we're seeing from Angel Reese with these double-doubles. It's not. It's a nice little stat that's pretty irrelevant. Does it lead to victories? They lost by 20-some-odd points last night to the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx pretty much controlled that entire game. Angel Reese was no factor. We need to quit celebrating. Oh, she got a double-double. Well, yeah, they kept her in the fourth quarter when they were down by 20, and she, got a bucket or two and got to double-digit point. The uncomfortable truth becomes obvious when you watch how Sky players perform alongside Reese versus without her. This raises serious questions about Chicago's coaching staff and their priorities. Are they making decisions based on what helps the team win, or are they prioritizing Reese's brand and individual achievements? The evidence suggests they might be choosing the latter, even when it hurts their chances of success. The research shows Chicago has only one victory against a team above .500 in the last year. One win against winning teams. That's not a coincidence when your supposed star player's presence correlates with worse team performance. The Sky have suffered 4 40-point blowouts, and Reese was prominently featured in most of those disasters. As one analyst bluntly stated, if Angel Reese is your best player, your team stinks. The numbers back up this harsh assessment perfectly. Angel Reese's double-doubles are completely meaningless when they come at the cost of team success. Statistics that don't translate to wins are just empty numbers designed to fool casual observers. The biggest deception in WNBA history has been convincing people that Angel Reese's individual achievements matter when her team keeps losing games they should win. The The WNBA now faces two completely different paths forward. One path is built on genuine talent that translates to wins and championship potential. The other path relies on manufactured hype that crumbles under playoff pressure. Angel Reese represents everything wrong with the second path, while players like Caitlin Clark embody the authentic excellence the league desperately needs. Angel Reese has been playing the role of Draymond Green. She is the role player disguised as a superstar. I know she has given herself all of these doofus aliases. To her credit, Angel Reese has marketed herself as a big deal. Double-double Barbie, me-bound Barbie, Bayou Barbie, bricklayer Barbie. This entire saga has revealed something much bigger than just one player's limitations. It has exposed how empty statistics can fool casual observers who don't understand basketball fundamentals. Double-doubles sound impressive until you realize they're meaningless when your team keeps losing games they should win. The league tried pushing a narrative about Reese being a superstar, but that narrative simply doesn't match what happens on the court every single night. Let's be real about what the league attempted to do. They wanted to create a rivalry between Clark and Reese that would drive viewership and engagement. The problem is, you can't manufacture greatness when one player actually elevates her teammates while the other hurts her team's chances of success. The uncomfortable truth is that manufactured hype always gets exposed when the games actually matter. Well, alright, y'all have to accept the fact this girl's not Alyssa Thomas. Can y'all just stop playing games now? Can y'all just stop playing games now? This girl is not Alyssa Thomas. Y'all, fool on, y'all been, turnover police. She had another 9 turnovers today, 9 turnovers to 3 assists. A minus 19. 9 turnovers to 3 assists, and y'all keep trying to act like this girl's a point forward. Y'all gotta stop playing games, man. Stop playing games, bro. You know what's fascinating about this shift? The stark contrast between teams building around players who actually elevate their teammates versus those stuck with stat patterns who hurt winning. Indiana built around Clark's ability to make everyone better. Chicago built around Reese's ability to grab rebounds while turning the ball over at critical moments. The results speak for themselves. Basketball fans are now equipped to see through hollow statistics and recognize genuine game-changing impact. They understand that 9 turnovers in a single game reveals more about a player's true ability than 30 double-doubles ever could. Fans can spot the difference between empty stats and meaningful contributions that actually help teams win championships. The future of women's basketball looks incredibly bright when it's led by players who understand that winning trumps individual accolades every single time. Players who make their teammates better. Players who perform when the pressure mounts. Players who care more about cutting down nets than padding their personal statistics. The truth has finally won, and it's about time. Every once in a while, there will be a role player who presents themselves as a superstar. They're elite pretenders. They're brilliant at convincing people to buy into their world of make-believe. The Indiana Fever's future looks absolutely incredible, while Chicago remains stuck with their Angel Reese problem. Clark's rookie season transformed the entire league's popularity and viewership in ways nobody expected. The WNBA All-Star Game drew approximately 2 million viewers, largely because Clark was team captain, proving her star power even when she wasn't playing. The excitement building around Clark, Hull, Boston, and Mitchell as a championship-caliber core for 2025 is completely justified. This group has the chemistry and talent to make serious playoff runs. Meanwhile, Chicago faces growing questions about whether they can ever win with Reese as their centerpiece. Basketball fans now recognize genuine game-changing talent.